Hello everyone, how's it going, and welcome to another video. Today we'll be taking a look at the mid-patch notes for Wild Rift. At the moment the meta is, I would say, very stale. There's a lot of GAs happening, a lot of Evelynns, a lot of the same champions over and over again you see in high relos. A lot of Kennons, a lot of Gragas. So hopefully in these patch notes we'll be able to see a hit on some of them champions and the items as well. Shyvana updates, bringing nerfs to Evelynn, Lee Sin, and Guardian Angel, as expected. In this patch, we're taking a look at some of the clear outlier champs and making Guardian Angel a little less forgiving. Awesome. And this month, we've revealed a ton of upcoming content for 2021. That's pretty cool. I did a breakdown video on this. If anyone wants to go and check it out, I'll leave a link down in the description. I watched this live and did my reaction to everything. There was new champions, new game modes coming, and even more. So that's a pretty cool video to watch. Champions. I always have some balance patches every 2 weeks, typically on Mondays. For us here over in Los Angeles, I mentioned in the previous balance article. Sometimes it takes us additional patch cycles to collect information to make balance changes. We do hear your concerns and continue to closely monitor the game data. Awesome. First up, Aurelion Sol. Now, Aurelion Sol at first didn't really seem like a popular champion. I think his skill cap is very, very high. He's very difficult to play. But once you understand how to play him, and especially in a lot of the higher elo games that I've been in recently, Aurelion Sol has been popping up more and more and more, which is kind of crazy. I think it's mainly because of the Evelynn. Obviously, we see Evelynn down here as well. I think mainly it's because Evelynn kind of made the meta a lot of roam centric from the mid lane. Like, the mid laners had to roam. Like, if the mid laners didn't roam into bot or top lane, like, it'll just be game over. You can tower dive pretty easily in Wild Rift. It's all about the early game, all about roaming to get the dragons, to get advantages in other lanes, and obviously about all the push power as well with the mid lane. So I think that's why Aurelion Sol came into the meta a bit more when Evelynn became more and more popular. This one's coming in a hot from a recent spike. There you go. Aurelion Sol's win rate. From Desk of the balance team. I don't know how to word it. Basically, he could zoom everywhere before, just not change directions. Now he can zoom everywhere and change directions. Okay, that's a pretty cool change. So you can zoom everywhere and also you can change directions as well, which is kind of cool. But most of the time, you don't really want to change direction with Aurelion Sol, because what makes him so good is that he can use his first ability, his Q, and then be able to use your third ability to be able to make your Q even bigger. So you're basically, all you're doing is you're roaming from mid lane to top lane, this big massive AoE stun that can literally fill up the whole lane, and then they're stunned and they can't really do much. So that's what made Aurelion Sol really, really strong. That'd be interesting to see how the change of directions happen. We have nothing so you can change directions, but at a slower movement speed. Okay, pretty cool. So first one, the Star Surge, which is what I was just talking about. Bug fix: Aurelion Sol no longer gains 20% movement speed when Star Surge missiles is fired. Okay, didn't realize this was a thing. Maybe that's what made him kind of strong. And then his third ability, which is one I'll talk about. This is the one that makes him move from one side of the map pretty much to the other. His maximum movement speed has been lowered from 40 to 20%. So all they're doing here is just reducing the roam power of Aurelion Sol. He'll still do the same amount of damage. He'll still be quite strong. He's really good with Rylai's, because you, with your stars that go around you, you can keep slowing the champions, which is really, really strong. Yeah, like I said, it's just reducing the roam power. They want to stop these roaming mid laners that just roam around the map and just influence the rest of the game without doing anything mid lane, basically. That's pretty much how it's going at the moment. Evelynn, thank God this is happening. Evelynn's push power and road power as a mid laner is just too much. On top of that, her Q damage is pretty high. Haters gonna hate Spike. See what they did there. So yeah, hate Spike is the main reason why Evelynn's really strong. She can push down mid lane really, really easily. She can just roam to different lanes. She gets like 5 kills in the space of 5 minutes. It's absolutely disgusting. You can roam into the enemy jungles. You can invade really, really safely. It's just, yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous. Honestly, when you used to play Evelynn mid, all you had to do was, at level 1, get hate spike, push the lane, go into enemy jungler. If you see the enemy jungler, you'll most likely kill them, or you'll take a few camps off of them as well. and then you'll put the jungler even further behind. And what the other mid laner's doing is that they've got to take an option, and they lose XP in the mid lane and then they roam, or they just sit mid lane and they just let their jungler die. Like, it's just a no-win situation. It was really annoying playing against Evelynn's every single time. So what have they done then? So they reduced the AP ratio by 0.5, which is completely fine. They've also increased the mana by 5 at each rank, which is pretty awesome. This is the main one. Damage to minions. It was 100% damage at all ranks, which is disgusting. But now it's 30, 40, 45, 50. So even at max rank of her Q now, she'll only be doing half the amount of damage that she used to the minions. And even at level 1 now, she's going to be doing a third now of what she used to before. So she's losing like 3/4 of her damage from her Q. This is going to make her wave clear at level 1 a lot slower. I don't think, I mean, maybe you might see Evelynn mid still, but she's not going to be doing the level 1 shenanigans that she was doing previously in the last patch. And we'll have to test this out to see how much damage it actually gets reduced by and how quickly you can actually push the wave now. But like I said, before it was disgusting. You could just push in at level 1. I didn't even realize this was the numbers. 100% at all ranks is disgusting. I don't even know why they would do that, but yeah. Really good change though. I'm really happy about this change. You'll probably still see Evelynn in the jungle. I still think Evelynn is a really good jungler. Being able to turn invisible. The main thing about Evelynn as well is then there's no counterplay at the moment to Evelynn. There's no pink wards in the game. There's no vision wards. So you can't actually spot where Evelynn is. The only way you can spot where Evelynn is if you ward deep into their jungle. You ward either the wolf camp or the raptor camp. So you can see where she is on the map. But she's invisible everywhere, and there's no counterplay to it at the moment, which is why Evelynn is so strong as well, which is pretty disgusting. But we'll see how it goes, but I don't think we'll see Evelynn mid near as much as what we used to. Gragas as well, again, very tanky top laner, was pretty disgusting, was bursting down enemies super hard with his combo. Yeah, really good that Gragas is getting nerfed, but let's get into it and see what he's done. See what the changes are. Gragas is very tanky with great sustain in lane. We're nerfing him so he doesn't straight up win all trades against his lane opponents. Health per level going down by 10, which is pretty crazy. Like 150 at max rank, which is pretty important. His passive goes on a cooldown for 1 more second, so that's his regeneration from his passive. So every time he uses an ability after, well, it used to be 7 seconds, now it's 8 seconds, he'll gain a little bit of HP, so they're just reducing that by a little bit. And then the barrel roll, the first ability, his mana's getting increased by 10 every level, it looks like. Yeah, 10 every level, which is quite a lot early game if you think about it. And the minion damage is going lower, so it's just reducing the damage early game to the minions. Again, being able to push really easily as Gragas with the minion damage on the Q, and it costing him really less mana. So basically made him less lane dominant, so other laners can take over and they won't be dominated by him. But I think another really strong top lane at the moment is Kennen. But Kennen's only just been released, so I'm not expecting any nerfs in this one for sure. Leaf Sin has been kicking up a fuss with his Q range, so that's his Sonic Wave. So that's the one where you see him do like a kick out that he can basically teleport to someone. His target range is going down by 1, so it's about 10%, just under 10%. That's completely fine. I think his Q range was a bit disgusting anyway. Sometimes you'd think it wouldn't hit and it would hit. So they're just definitely reducing that. And they're reducing the damage by a bit as well, by 5, 10, 15, and 20. So reducing the base damage a little bit. This is completely fine. I mean, I still think Lee Sin will be completely fine. Lee Sin won't change at all. Again, the main reason why Lee Sin is so strong is because his early game. His early game damage, his early game mobility as well is really strong for Lee Sin. Again, for me at the moment, Wild Rift is all about the early game. So I need to make some changes to the early game to make these champions not as strong early game. So we can get into like a more mid or late game centric game. But I don't think that will ever be the case because of how quickly you gain gold and how quickly the games end on Wild Rift for sure. Miss Fortune. Now, this is a bit unfortunate for me because I just made a Miss Fortune video yesterday. And now she got nerfed. But I don't think the nerfs are going to be that big. But we'll see. But yeah, at the moment, Miss Fortune, again, is another late one that's kind of spiked in power. I've only just realized recently how strong Miss Fortune is. After watching the Asian Brawl tournament, as I said in my previous video, Miss Fortune was 100% pick and ban rate on that. And yeah, that's just completely disgusting for a champion. Having 100% pick or ban rate, there's a reason why she's super, super strong. Her lane pressure, her early game damage is really strong. And even going to late game as well with the bullet time and with the Guardian Angel, it's just a ridiculous champion. Let's see what they've done. It's fortunately on the strong side, so we're tuning her down a bit. Cool. So her double up, which is her Q ability, the one where it bounces off a minion and goes to a champion, or where however you want to use it. Going down in damage by 10 every level. Not too much, but I think that'll be completely fine. 10 base damage is not really that much if you think about it. The main reason why this ability is so strong is that her passive actually procs twice on the first enemy you hit and the second enemy you hit as well. So being able to, and also obviously the extra critical damage that you do as well with double up. So I don't think this base damage will affect that much, but we'll have to wait and see. Also reducing the attack speed of Strut as well by 10 every level. You normally level this second. I mean, you normally level double up at level 1, so the damage again might not be as important. Strut you normally level up second, so at level 10 you can get it to level 4, the ability, so you get 40%, 90% attack speed, which is still ridiculous to be fair. Still a lot of attack speed, and even early game getting that extra 30% attack speed is really, really strong. So I think that's all good. Shyvana, interesting. Shyvana was this champion that mainly just focused on dragons. She'd get a bunch of bonuses from dragons. She has ridiculous wave clear. Probably her and Lee Sin are the two fastest in terms of wave clear early game. So you'll be able to clear the jungle early. You'll be able to get the dragons, being able to gank really, really easily. So they're probably just nerfing that down to be able to tone her down a little bit, but we'll see. Shyvana has a lot of damage on her kit and a lot of initial tankiness. We're lowering some of her base stats and her elemental dragon empowered bonuses. Cool. Armor's going down by 5. Her Twin Bite, which is her first ability, the slow on the Mountain Dragon buff. So if you get Mountain Dragon, is only 40% now. It was 60%. Her W, which is her burnout damage, has been lowered by 5, 10, 15. So mainly about the late game damage, really. Because Shyvana, I think, is fine early game. But the thing is with Shyvana, once you get Triforce, once you get GA, and once you hit a point where you have a few dragons, she can go into the middle of a team fight and just 1v9. Like, it's happened so many times. She could just kill the ADC without doing anything. It's pretty disgusting. So I can see why they've lowered the damage for the late game and keeping the early game and mid game kind of the same. And then her ultimate, the bonus damage that she gets from the Ocean Dragon buff has been lowered by a bit as well, which is completely fine. But yeah, like I said, the main reason for Shyvana is if you get a load of dragons early with Shyvana, she just becomes an unstoppable force, honestly. So they're just lowering down that to make sure that her late game is not as strong as what it can be. But I think that this will be completely fine, though. I don't think there's that many changes. I mean, her W damage is pretty crucial because of her wave clear. Not wave clear, sorry, her jungle clear. I've been 5 armor is not that much. The 2 dragon buffs and everything are really, really big changes. They're quite big nerfs, but I think she'll be completely fine. Wukong, again, another champion that has a lot of early teamfight presence. Being able to turn invisible. Again, there's no real counterplay to it at the moment. Being able to use a clone and being able to get this big, massive AoE knock-up in team fights. Again, really, really strong. A lot of us about the early dragon fights, the early team fights. They're not really surprised in any way. Wukong's jungle is very strong. We're nerfing his clear speeds and his element of surprise. So his second ability, Warrior Trickster, which is one way he can turn invisible. His invisibility time has gone down by 0.5 a second, which is really good. And the clone damage has also gone down. This will actually affect his damage and his wave clear quite a lot in the jungle. Taking it down by 30% for the clone damage. What you do most of the time is that you use your third ability to be able to jump into the jungle camp, and then you use your second ability, Warrior Trickstar, and the clone will be in the middle of the minions, so it will one, take aggro so you don't lose any HP, and two, it will just do a bunch of damage to the minions, so you'll be able to wait, jungle clear really quickly. So they're lowering down the damage of that, which is fine, and they're actually lowering the attack speed as well from the third ability by quite a bit as well. 10, 5, the same, and actually up in attack speeds for the late game. So again, reducing his early game clear, making him a little bit stronger late game by giving him 5% extra attack speed, but I don't think it'll be too much. And then lastly, we have the items. I mean, we all know, for everyone who plays Wild Rift, Guardian Angel was completely broken. I said it in multiple videos before, but these changes are pretty interesting, but I don't think it will be enough, unfortunately. Total cost is only going up by 300. Honestly, that's so minuscule on Wild Rift that doesn't really make a big difference. You gain a lot of passive gold as it is. You get a lot of gold from minions. Yeah, I don't think 300 gold is going to be enough. The combined cost is the only thing that's going up by 300 gold as well. They're not actually nerfing the components as well. Like the BF sword and the chain vest from Guardian Angel is really good for laning phase for an AD carry. Being able to get extra damage and also get that armor against the enemy AD as well, which is really strong. AD is going down by 5, which is a bit, but not a lot. And then 30 seconds up on the revive cooldown, which again, I think the revive cooldown was super quick anyway. So being able to up it by 30 seconds, not going to make that much big of a difference, if I'm totally honest. I still think Guardian Angel will still be really strong. I still think you can go first item Guardian Angel. We'll just have to see how things shape up. The main reason why 2,800 gold was completely disgusting was that as an AD carry, if you go GA first item, before the first dragon spawns, you almost all the time get it. You get it every single time, without a doubt. So it going up by 300 gold, you might not be able to get GA before the first dragon. We'll have to test it out and see. But maybe being able to not get GA at the first... at your first back for when dragon spawns might be pretty important. Again, we'll have to see how things go. But I don't think this will be enough, if I'm totally honest. Like I said, 300 gold is nothing. 5 AD is nothing. A 30-second revive cooldown, which is okay, but as long as you communicate with your team, it's like, cool, I've got 30 seconds left on my revive cooldown, like on my GA. Like, make sure you don't fight. Then they won't fight, and then you'll be completely fine with it. But yeah, we'll see how things go. And then you have the free-to-play champion rotation, if anyone wants to have a look at that as well. That's it for the mid-patch notes. Again, they are live now on Wild Rift. I'll definitely be testing this out. I'll be testing out the Guardian Angel changes for sure as an AD carry main. I'll also be testing out the Misfortune changes. Again, I don't think these two changes will be enough to nerf it. It might bring Jhin a bit more priority than Misfortune, but honestly, the damage that you're losing from... you know, the double up and the strut, and then also from the GA is probably not enough. She still does really ridiculous damage, and she scales really well into the mid and late game as well. We'll have to see how things go for sure. But yeah, thank God no more Evelynn mid, hopefully. She still might be playing in jungle, but I don't think we'll see any more Evelynn mid. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And again, I'll bring out more content over the next couple of days. At the moment, we are Emerald 1. We're very close to Diamond, so we'll have to see if we can hit it. Thanks very much for tuning in. I'll see you guys in the next video.